Welcome, Soul Family. Come on in. Check in. Let us know where you're heading from.
Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Good evening, Soul Tribe. Welcome. It's so good to see everybody. Check in. Let us know where you're hailing from. We're going to come on in 1 minute. I see people from all over. Grand evening, family. I just wanted to talk to you briefly. I'm so glad you all enjoy the music. I just wanted to talk to you all just to let you know a little bit about what's going on because I've been getting phone calls. Welcome, Soul Tribe. Hello. I've been getting phone calls from all across America and even email from different places across the globe. So, welcome, family. It's good to see you again. Today is Tuesday, March the 31st, 2026, and the time is 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check in. I see North Carolina's in the house, California's in the house, Fort Lauderdale is here. Yes, you've been getting calls too. DC is here. Come on in the room. Maryland's in the house. All right. Yes. Yes, I'm live. Detroit is here. Hello. It's always good to see you, Brother Tony Hood. Florida's in the house. Conyers, Georgia. I have a great friend in Conyers, actually. Some of you may know Dr. Ray Hagans. He lives in Georgia. It's a good friend of mine. Welcome, family. Yet, what calls are we getting there? Oh, I can tell you in a few minutes. Alabama's in the house. Palm, Florida's in the house. People have been calling, asking what's going on because one of the things that they noticed is that the gas prices surged, went up. When they woke up this morning, they saw the gas prices up. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I actually saw it happen yesterday. I went to a neighboring town yesterday and I was surprised because we had gas at 3.99 for the last week or so here in Jacksonville. But yesterday I went to visit a neighboring small town and the gas was 4.29. And so I thought, can y'all hear me? The internet is freezing. I had issues with internet yesterday too when I was trying to do a live on the US being insolvent. But so I went to the neighboring town and it was 4.29. The gas was, and I thought, why would the gas prices be higher in a smaller town than Jacksonville? So the only thing I could come up with at the time was maybe they're taking advantage of the people in a small town and they know that most of them are going to get gas all with Jacksonville for what 30 cents less. But then I wake up this morning and gas is $4.29 here in Jacksonville, Florida. Now we knew that the gas prices would go up because of the energy crisis due to the war in Iran, but we didn't know what the prices, how far they could go, how far they could go. Australia's reporting gas at $8 a gallon. That was before today. I don't know what their gas is like today. California was reporting it at $5. Hello, Arizona. It's good to see you. And I see Brother Larry Bolton, who I think is in Georgia, said the lowest price on gas in his area is $3.41 at BP. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you like the song. The song is a vibe. So, I agree that a Jacksonville River is the Nile River. It goes all the way to Maine. They call it the St. John's River. Very, very pretty river, very pretty. The St. John's area is very, very nice as well, where a lot of wealthy people live along the St. John's River. But we've been getting calls about so many things. Okay, he was on our show the other day, and he told us, to remember that April 1st is 41. 41 represents kings, and kings represent we the people in Americas. That would be in the indigenous peoples, but also, including all Americans, and that everything will be returned back to the people is 4-1, 41. I also want you to keep in mind, as a Hebrew woman who kept all the Hebraic holy days since I was a small child, that we're coming up on Passover tomorrow evening. For of the Hebrews, you are. Some of them keep it starting 4-1 in the evening. Some of them start on the 2nd of April. But this is Passover season. It is deliverance season for those who kept Passover because the Hebrew children were taken out, brought out of slavery during this time period. But it's also resurrection season because the Christ rose around Passover. And it's Easter. So this is Passover season, Easter season. April the 1st is also the new year. Yes, the gas prices have gone way up everywhere. I agree. So a lot of concerns are arising with the high gas prices, family. That's right, sister. 41 represents kings who are the original kings and queens in the Americas. It would be the indigenous peoples. So the indigenous peoples are now speaking out saying it is our time to reclaim the Americas. And of course, if you're just because you're indigenous, it doesn't mean that you have the right to mistreat people. So the indigenous people are rising saying, we know that this is our country, our land. We are returning some things back to us. Behind the scenes, you had a lot of indigenous peoples take the United States Incorporated to court. People know about the farmers taking United States Incorporated to court. They know about the farmers' claims leading to Nassar and Jassara. Those were claims by the farmers that the United States Incorporated and their central banking system forced the farmers to take out loans that were against them, loans that had high interest rates. And if the farmers, in order for the farmers to grow certain foods, raise certain cattle, they had to follow certain rules. So if you take money from people, you have to or money credits from people, you have to follow certain rules. So the farmers said we were forced to sow Monsanto seeds. We were forced to give cattle food that is not that does not align with their bodies. For example, feeding cows corn, that's not even biologically correct. But they had to use certain fertilizers. And so the farmers were fed up. They're the backbone of this nation, and they're the backbone of nations all over the world. So the farmers took the United States Incorporated and the Federal Reserve Central Banking System to world courts and said they are mistreating us, we the farmers and the people, by forcing us to do things that are not natural in order to get the money. And they're putting high interest rates on the loans that we get. And if we don't do what they say, they cut off our money, they confiscate our land. Also, some farmers came up missing, as well as their attorneys who represented them in the courts. So you have the farmers' claims, but you also have Empress Verdiasi Gostin L. Turner Bay. It was the empress of the Washita or Ashita people in that Louisiana, Texas region. She took the United States to court and said the United States Incorporated stole the land from the indigenous copper-colored races here that they misclassified as Black, Negroid, colored, and African American. She was persistent in her case, and she actually won her claim. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but she won her claim in the amount of $85 quadrillion. But you have her, you have Chief Warhorse, you have many, many chiefs. Right now in our dispensation, you have Chief Rarebird and Chief Rod Hayes that's dealing with restoring the lands back to we the people. So you have a lot of indigenous peoples that have been fighting behind the scenes to not only reclaim the land and restore the wealth for America, because when you do that for America, you do it for the world. Everything started here on Turtle Island, America, Amorica, Amexem, Northwest Africa, the North Gate. They call it many, many names. So you had a lot of people not only taking the United States Incorporated to court, but you also had the Moors and other Washita and other indigenous peoples filing paperwork to bankrupt the United States Incorporated. My point for coming on today is I'm still trying to figure out why mainstream media is not bringing up the fact that the United States Incorporated is insolvent. They can't pay their debts. They are very likely to default. Okay, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I made that announcement a few days ago when I found out from an ex-Marine. When an ex-Marine made that public knowledge that the United States Incorporated, the government, was insolvent, I started asking myself, why haven't I heard this? I started talking to economists. I started talking to other podcasters and just people that are a part of the New Republic. And nobody knew this information. So I looked it up. And sure enough, the United States Treasury Department announced this. Actually, they put it in their report on September 30th, 2025. This United States Treasury Department reported that the United States Incorporated, the government, is insolvent. But this news just started leaking out last week. It is public knowledge. It's just that we have to know where to go to find the knowledge. Okay. So meanwhile, while the government is insolvent, you have gas prices going up. You have a lot of news happening here in the Americas and abroad. I don't know if you all have heard this, but fires are breaking out or have broken out in several places, several states here in the Americas, which has caused for major news and evacuations in Florida, North Carolina, other parts of Southeast America, also in New Mexico and Minnesota. Fires breaking out all over the world, and California. Now we're used to them happening and breaking out in California, but Florida, North Carolina, New Mexico, Minnesota, there were different cities that were forced to evacuate because of these fires. In addition to that, we've had major earthquakes to happen, several across the globe, including right outside of Florida. That part that's now called the Gulf of America had an earthquake. Now, it wasn't major. It was about a 3.9. People in Florida are reporting that they didn't feel it, or a lot of them didn't feel it, but it's still noteworthy because it's not likely. It's not something that happens all the time. It's an anomaly. So you had an earthquake in the Gulf of America, right outside of Florida. You had earthquakes in that region around Australia, 7.5 earthquakes. You had a 6.5 in Japan the other day, a 7.5 in Australia in that region on March the 24th. And then again, Australia and New Zealand on yesterday, March the 30th, a 7.3 earthquake. Cuba has been having earthquake activity, which people are saying that's an anomaly. Incredibly rare for Cuba to have earthquakes. What's going on? I mean, 5.0 earthquakes. So, earthquakes, fires, evacuations, not just in America, but in the Gulf of America and across the globe. Surging oil prices now due to this war. So, all of this is leading people to ask what's going on. Once you see the high gas prices, then you feel it because how are you going to get to work? Now, where it may have taken what $30 to fill a tank is taking 40. So we know, and we made this connection the other day. We said it was going to happen, that this is going to affect other parts of the economy. Because what's happening is that there's a so-called oil crisis due to the war. So the gas is going to go up. Fertilizer is going up, which will affect the crops. Transportation is being affected. The airlines are being affected due to the war. Major airlines have experienced delays and cancellations. So this is why I'm getting all these calls. And I understand, like, people are wondering what's going on. But, we've been saying that typically before you have a major financial shift, you experience what they call black swan events. Those are events that are anomalies that don't normally happen, a rare occasion, like seeing a black swan. So typically you have a war that will lead or cascade into the collapse of the financial system. Also, at the end of every empire, I told you all, reported to the Soul Tribe, at the end of every empire, you experience what's called a crack up boom. A crack up boom is when the elites or the people in power print out as much money as they can, rack up all the debt, buy themselves assets, and then they destroy that monetary system and then go back to a sound monetary system. It happens all the time. We're at the end of the pseudo-Roman Empire, which, by the way, the United States Incorporated happens to be the Roman Empire. Thank you for this comment. Gnostic Gnosis says Empress Rarebird just finished a live, and she said this Sunday, Earth Day, there will be a big announcement about the government change over to the Empress, Chiefs, and Indigenous. Come on through here. It is time for the financial system to shift, governance to shift, the energies to shift. And this could be why we're experiencing so many earthquakes. I mean, the earth is not happy about what has been happening. You have children that has been unalive, mistreated and abused, assaulted. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Chief Mac. You must be in the house. Thank you, Chief Mac. Chief Mac just sent me a Cash App blessing. Thank you, Chief. Are you in the house? I don't know if he's here, but I know you're so tired. Somebody, Ty says, I'm so tired, yo. I'm coming for our peace. Everybody's been coming, for we the people. Now we just want peace. We just desire peace. But the earth is crying out because you got blood in the earth from the children. You got bloodshed from all these wars. You have a lot. You have the birds, somebody said in the comment section, that are chirping loudly because even they are ready to see a change. All those entities, thank you, Chief, that have been running through our estates, using up our bonds, accessing our wealth, that time is up. So I've been seeing some reports online about energy lockdowns. People are wondering, are they coming up? Because like I reported late last night, Europe, they're asking people to stay home and drive less. So there are top European officials, European Union officials that are urging Europeans to work from home, drive less, ride share, meaning share the rides, ride bikes, and do whatever they can to conserve energy. I reported that on last night, but I didn't show you the article. So let me show you the article. Thank you, Joanne. Joanne says they're blowing up underground tunnels. That's the reason for the earthquakes and the fires. Come on through here, sis. Say it again. This was published by Politico. Top Brussels official urges Europeans to work from home and drive less. Energy commissioner says the oil crisis triggered by the Iranian war will bring lengthy upheaval. In his speech, reminiscent of the CV pandemic, they're trying to seed this into our consciousness. What are they saying? They're urging people to take note and stay home and and they're talking about things happening in their speeches that are reminiscent to the 2020 issue, the CV. I got to be careful about how I say the pandemic. This is out of Brussels. The European Commission has urged people to work from home, drive and fly less, and for the EU countries to urgently roll out renewables as it warned of a prolonged energy crisis as a result of the conflict in the Gulf. In a speech with echoes of the early days of the CV pandemic, EU Energy Chief Jorgensen said Europe was facing very serious situations with no clear end in sight. Even if peace is here tomorrow, still will not go back to normal in the foreseeable future, he said, following an extraordinary meeting in the EU's 27 energy ministries on Tuesday to discuss this crisis. 27, 2 plus 7 is 9, which is the end of one season and the beginning of something else. Tuesdays when they make their major announcements. The more you can do to save oil, especially diesel, especially jet fuel, the better we're off. They want to save on jet fuel, which means they're going to ground planes and flights and jets. That's Dr. Kia Pruitt's commentary. But Jorgensen confirmed an earlier report by Politico that Brussels wanted Europeans to travel less. So if Europeans are being asked to travel less, are we to assume that the same could happen in America? Possibly. So it's always best to be proactive and be prepared. He urged member countries to follow the advice of the International Energy Agency, which he said included work from home where possible, reduce highway speed limits by 10 kilometers an hour, and encourage public transport or transportation, alternative private car access, and increase car sharing and adopt efficient driving practices. Longer term, he urged EU countries to double down on building more renewables, saying this must be the time we finally turn the tide and truly become energy independent. Tuesday's talks between ministers ended with no concrete proposals, although Jorgensen promised the Commission would be announcing a package of EU-level measure in the near future. His comments come as fears grows that the world faces a major energy crisis exceeding even the 1970s oil shock that could have global economic ramifications comparable to the CV pandemic. Since the United States and Israel launched its first attack on Iran over a month ago, oil and gas prices have soared as much as 70 cents, as a fifth of the world's crude oil and liquefied natural gas supply has been stuck in the Persian Gulf. So, what do we take from this? We take from this that we need to prepare. The energy crisis will usher in free energy technology. Thank you for that comment. Yes. So things could be a little questionable in the beginning as we transition to a new system like free energy. I agree. Thank you so much. Sister Janine, our moderator, is in the chat. She says, hit the like button, family. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sister Janine. I love you so much. Chief Max says, the end of the world is coming to the beast system. Revelations in the Bible, yes, talks about this. Grand evening, my darling. So, what else is going on? Well, that's Europe. As I reported on last night, in Canada, some Canadians can't get into America and Americans can't get into Canada because the roads that from New York that lead into Canada and the bridges have closed. Or the report said last night they were going to close. So by today or tomorrow, they're supposed to close. So you have bridges closing in Canada and in New York. And New York actually said they're going to have many major bridges, and they're not just going to Canada closing, but many bridges are supposed to close starting April the 1st, tomorrow. And they said it could be closed all the way throughout the summer. I don't know why bridges are closing, but some people in California said they heard rumors that their bridges, some of their major bridges, were closing in Florida as well. So you have bridges closing, earthquakes, fires, evacuations, energy crises, rumors of lockdown, wars, gas prices soaring, which will then lead to food prices and fertilizer and other things going up. We need to be encouraged that things are going to get better, but also prepare. There was an article I wanted to bring up. There's an article. I said I keep hearing these rumors that we could have an energy lockdown. Well, Europe is having one right now, so Canada could be next, but that might be why they're having road closures and bridge closures. But this article asks, is the world headed for an energy lockdown in 2026? Before I get to that, let me show you that thousands of flights are being canceled. All this happening at the same time, right during Passover season, Easter, the new year. But the new year represents spring, right? Abundance. It represents what else? New life, resurrection. So we know this is resurrection season, it being Passover and Easter, but the other part, the dark part of Passover, is that the children of Israel, who were, according to the biblical story, enslaved to the Egyptians, had experienced so much turmoil. And when Moses had gone to the biblical God and said, I need you to help me. You told me to deliver the people and to go to Pharaoh, the king at the time. Pharaoh say, let my people go. But Pharaoh's heart has been hardened and he won't let them go. What am I supposed to do? So God said, don't worry. I'm going to soften his heart. I'm going to soften the King Pharaoh's heart. Don't worry about that. I'm going to send plagues to the Egyptians. The plagues were judgments. You have about 10 different types of plagues, boils, what else? Blood in the water, fleas or some type of insect, a locust being released. But the last one, the last plague that the God of the Bible would send to the Egyptians to get their attention and to soften the Pharaoh's heart so that he will let the slaves go, was the death of the firstborn sons. In order to circumvent or get around the death angel coming to your door, if you were Egyptian or Hebrew, but the order was given to the Hebrews, you had to slay the lamb and put the blood on the doorpost, and then the death angel would pass over you. The death angel symbolizes judgment. Judgment passed over the people who were obedient and applied blood to the doorposts of their homes. In today's dispensation, the Passover symbolizes judgment being exacted upon those who enslaved we the people. So, judgment, their financial system will collapse. Their stock markets will collapse. Everything attached to the USD, the dollar, their fiat dollar from the United States Federal Reserve banking system, is going to crash. And we're having, like someone said in the comment section, blowing up of those deep underground military bases where a lot of them were hiding out. Blowing up of those labs where a lot of nefarious things were going on, a lot of diseases were created, and the rescue of children that were underground. And then once they rescued those children, they were blowing them up. Judgment. The best way for us to not be in the way of the judgment is to apply love to our heart. That's the blood to the doorposts of your heart. And you should love yourself and your fellow man and woman so much that you don't commit crimes against humanity. And so you love, you do what's righteous, and you get out of the way. This is why Chief Rod Hayes told us a while ago, take your children out of the public schools. He's not trying to tell people what to do, but he's like, they are igniting sleeper cells because these people do not want to deal with the judgment that's upon them. They will do everything to try to take us out with them. And I can't tell people what to do because people have to work. But guess what? If we have lockdowns, nobody's going to have to work. Stay out of the way. Be safe. You're going to have a lot of airport closings because while we're having war, you got a lot of people that's trying to rush out of here. A lot of unlawful people that are here that have been accessing our trust, stealing our wealth, creating businesses in some of your names, using some of your social security numbers, which is a bank account number. And now that their time is up, they're trying to run. That's why President Donald Trump sent ICE agents out, one of the reasons out to the airports to help TSA. So be mindful of what's going on around you because the war is actually happening here in America. It's happening across the seas too, but it's happening on a large scale here in America. Fuel crisis. I'm showing you this article. Fuel crisis grounds thousands of flights as Iran war sends oil prices soaring. Thousands. Okay. Might not be the best time to fly, family. If you don't have to fly, don't fly because your flight may get canceled. You may be held up in lines. People are reporting long lines. And it's interesting because it's not like people are saying, oh, the line's too long. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to, not go. No, the airlines are canceling the flights. Thousands of flights have been canceled and more are planned as global airlines struggle with surging fuel costs in the wake of the Iranian war. According to data by aviation analytics company Cirium, more than 1 in 20 flights scheduled to take off on Monday were canceled. Jet fuel, which is generally more expensive than oil, now costs $1,710 a metric ton, up over 130% from its $742 price tag last year. Can you see that? Up 130% from $742 per metric ton now to $1,710. That's a huge jump. Airlines which have confirmed flight cancellations include Air New Zealand, which cut 1,100 flights through to early May. Wow. Scandinavian Group as well, which is canceling 1,000 next month. Both have said there will mainly affect domestic routes. United Airlines earlier this month became the first major U.S. airline to cancel flights due to soaring fuel costs, cutting around 5% of capacity on less profitable routes. And this is all as a result of the war in the Middle East, which has led to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The blockage of this crucial trade artery through which a fifth of the world's oil passes has caused a choking of supply and soaring prices. Put in the comment section, what else can this energy crisis affect? What do you think? this energy crisis can also affect not just fuel, not just planes, but as we said, I mean, fertilizer. I saw a report that said farmers were concerned about fertilizer prices. Thank you, Katrina. Sister Katrina says this isn't the time to be fearful. Is that what you said? Let me get that. This is this not a time to be fearful in a fearful state. This is what we came here for. No, everything is done in our favor. Thank you so much. Absolutely. The change is happening. Right. This could affect food supply, food shortages. So as our sister said earlier, we don't want to be afraid or, worried. We just want to be prepared. We need to be prepared. We need to share, be ready to share. Because even right before the global shutdown in 2020, people were saying these times were unprecedented right before it, because they started talking about COVID actually, or the CV actually in November of 2019. Some cases were coming out. Then in December, cases were being reported. And we knew at that point, okay, this is probably the Black Swan event, because we were expecting everything to shut down for good then. I'm speaking of the government. Food shortages. The supply chain could be interrupted. So let's just all do what we can, fill up. We said that Sheikh Jacob Bey told us the other day when he came on, fill up, fill her up, fill her up. Go on and get your gas, get you some beans and rice, some canned goods. Grandma used to have these things stocked up anyway. Our grandparents actually canned their own goods, and this was just part of their lifestyle, and they had gardens. We might have to go back to those time periods. Somebody said we ain't never scared, right? Oh, thank you, Jerry. Brother Jerry Bolton said we could have blackouts and brownouts. Blackouts as if like the electricity going out. Iraq experienced rolling blackouts earlier this month in March. Live Your Life said food and share riders. When is the currency revaluation going to take place? Most likely it will take place like after everything shuts down, if it shuts down. But what specific date? I don't know. It looks like we're preparing for some type of lockdown, shutdown. I don't know if it's going to be a global shutdown, or I don't know if they'll just, they're already grounding flights so that people aren't moving around. People are already being told to work less. So it's like a soft shutdown that we're experiencing. And with the gas prices being so high, that is a shutdown, right? So it looks like they're preparing for people to be settled, to be still, so that they can start announcing publicly what's been going on. We should be expecting something to come out, news to come out about elections being stolen in 2020. We should expect information coming about mass arrests, which we're already hearing about arrests. You can go to resignation.info and see tens of thousands of arrests that occurred during Trump's first administration, all the way up till about 2023. Grocery stores are going to be affected. They're already being affected. It, in fact, sounds like 2020 all over again. The people that were prepared weren't afraid. They weren't worried. They were still shocked. Listen, I reported that we were told that everything could lock down, that the National Guard would be on the ground. I reported that on my Facebook page. That I wrote it on my Facebook page before the global shutdown, but it was in early March. Somebody took it and sent it to this podcast called And We Know. Then people just sent it. I didn't even know it had gone viral. This was before the shutdown happened. And I said in that report, we were told that the world could be shut down, that we could have National Guard on the ground, that we will have curfews. The spirit actually led me to write that, or my ancestors, my highest self. And I just put it on my Facebook page. I woke up one morning, I was getting phone calls from friends all over America and some across the globe, across the water, saying they got that. It was a post that I had written. So somebody put it in And We Know. They put it in Before It's News and some of these major independent outlets. and people had sent it to churches and it was on broadcast. My point is, it looked like I was making stuff up because I was inspired to write it. Nothing had been shut down. But the people that read it, some of them took heed and said, well, she might be a little out there, but why not get extra water? Why not store up and get canned goods? Do you know that a few days later, the whole world shut down? Y'all have seen the article. The whole world shut down. And people were taken aback. They were caught off guard. The stores were full. The stores ran out of toilet paper. Why toilet paper? I don't know. They ran out of a lot of supplies during that shutdown. So we just want to be prepared, proactive. Here is that article. See if I can find it. If it comes up, yep. Oh, it was somebody else also put it on Operation Disclosure. So I wrote this article March 2020, and I had been talking about a global shutdown from 2019, actually from 2017 to 2019, saying something could happen, a black swan event, because the financial system has to switch over and we have to save the children that have been abused. So it came out, my article came out March the 12th. The world was shut down March 13th. It came out the 12th in this particular publication called Operation Disclosure. And I basically said, we were told years ago there would be an event that would quarantine America and possibly the planet in order to make global mass arrests. We were encouraged to stock up on food, water, and supplies. We were also instructed to remain calm. Martial law may be implemented to keep people off the streets while these arrests occurs. Schools would be closed, flights grounded, airports closed, etc. It hadn't even happened yet. So Mr. Ed, whoever that is, he said the source, they had put in a rumor mills before here, but it was written by Dr. Kia Pruitt, and he's emailed it to all these places. Why would all this happen with martial law and flights grounded and airports closed? I'm just reading this to let you know this happened in 2020. Here we are again with flights grounded. We'll see some that we have. My grandchildren who are now homeschooled have seen some of the other schools. They just saw the school they went to, Spring Glen Elementary, torn down. They were like, Granny, our old school is torn down that we went to year before last. Like, oh my God. But why are these things happening? Flights grounded, airports closed, school closing, because the people are being arrested for participating in corruption and worldwide PDF and human African trade, crimes against humanity, treason, murder, rape. All of this is massive, and it affects every aspect of society. This includes Hollywood entertainers, NBA and NFL athletes and staff, politicians, pastors, banking CEOs, corporate heads. Why do you think the banks are closing? Why do you think corporations are closing? Commercial properties are empty. School officials have been implicated, coaches and educators. This was in 2020. Some of your doctors, lawyers, judges, college professors, school teachers, police officers, chiefs, firemen, business owners, airport workers, pilots, bankers, priests, everyday people are currently being arrested for their crimes against humanity. A lot of them are involved in nefarious behaviors and secret societies. So the masses have not been privy to their wrongdoings, ritualistic abuses, child African trade, hunting parties, ritualistic maze, drug trafficking, involvement in underground activities in the DUMBs, or the deep underground military bases, that those are being blown up right now, causing what appears to be major fires, and what is major fires, but appears to be earthquakes. This is why some of us reported on a notable resignation list for 2 years. This is 2020 when I said that. I said, we've been reporting this, that people are resigning because of these crimes against humanity for 2 years. We've been talking about this since Trump's first administration. So that meant I was talking about it for at least 2 years. That meant about 2018. Many people were on that list under the guise of resignation. We also reported on military tribunals, which began January 2019. January 2019. Some of us watched those military tribunals take place on c-vine.com. That's true. It's either .com or .net. You can't find it now, but some of us actually watch military tribunals. The corruption is huge. POTUS, then it was President Trump, that was his first administration, asked that people not be in crowds. I hear you. One reason, other than catching the sickness, the V word, the virus, is because the deep state, New World Order, corrupt leaders could attempt to retaliate, since they know that we have been involved in a covert operation against them. So be safe. The planet is being cleansed. The corona V word is a cover, I wrote. While it's true that the deep state elites created the virus and attempted to infect the masses, Trump and the global alliances co-opted the operation and used it as a cover to arrest global elites, including the Pope and the unroyal family, politicians, and Hollywood elites. But the mainstream media will announce that folks just came down with the sickness, the virus. Actually, they've been arrested. Some are at Guantanamo Bay and have been there for a while. At some point, announcements will be made, so remain calm and stock up. The people who don't have food and supplies will have an opportunity to get them from neighbors or the military, because troops will likely be on the ground to make arrests, number one. Number two, to keep everyone calm. And number three, I said this, didn't even know it for sure. This is like what I'm receiving. A curfew may be implemented, I wrote, in 2020. We were instructed also that new monetary policies and our global gold-backed system will be implemented, and trillions will be injected into the economy after the global mass arrest. So the mass arrests have to happen first before you inject money into the economy. So somebody asked, when are we going to experience the revaluation of currencies? I assume you mean when we're going to go to the bank and exchange our currencies if we have foreign currencies. And my retort or my response would be, after an announcement of all this has been happening, during a shutdown, and after mass arrests. Otherwise, if they did it before that, if you just start injecting money and wealth into the economy before the mass arrest, those nefarious beings would once again steal our wealth and re-empower themselves. Dr. Pruitt goes on to say, soon the republic, our lawful government, will be restored, and constitutional law as well. So be encouraged. Things are finally getting better for humanity. What an exciting time to be alive. Soon we will enjoy the benefits of the National Economic Security and Reformation Act and the global version of that, Nasara and Jasara, and our sovereignty. And finally, all those will be restored. And finally, planetary peace and prosperity as well. Be well. This, again, I wrote in 2020, early March. I wrote it on Facebook. Someone took it and put it in Operation Disclosure. They put it in the Dinar Chronicles. They put it in And We Know. They had a publication. They read it on And We Know, who used to have a big platform on YouTube, and the letter went out all over the globe. So I would concur and agree that this looks like 2020 all over again, with these high gas prices, deep underground military bases being exploded, planes being halted, bridges closing, and food supply being affected. Everything's being affected. So we have to make sure we conserve our energy by not getting frustrated and worried, but to be prepared. Be prepared. What did you say, the Adept Moore? The power is yours. They dropped some jewels in that one. The power is yours. Absolutely. We'll rise out of the ashes, Brother Leon said. We'll rise out of the ashes of this war as the world's next superpower, as the beast destroys each other. Yeah, they are fighting each other. That's true. That's why we're conserving our energy. We're like, well, that's not my battle. Let them fight it out. Our leaders are in place already. Salute, Soul Family. Thank you, King. Thank you. It is a beautiful time to be alive, Chief Mac, when you're connected to the right people and source. Chief Mac, we did send you a link if you have something to say. I say, oh, extreme. Thank you. So, European Union is urging people to work from home, drive less, do ride sharing, conserve on oil. Flights are being canceled. And, there are other articles. I read one earlier in the podcast that said that um, they're wondering if an energy lockdown is about to happen. But there are many out, even on YouTube. People are asking, are we about to have another lockdown? And even on the news outlets where Trump is speaking, they're saying Trump is saying there's going to be a lockdown. I haven't heard those exact words come from his mouth, but it surely looks like we're headed that way. And I saw President Trump say something that was interesting. It looks like President Trump is actually repositioning power back to America when it comes to this oil so-called crisis or oil ordeal. Let me show you what President Trump said on his Truth Social. He said all those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the UK, which refuses to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the United States. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the strait and just take it. This man is. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourselves. The United States of America won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil, President DJT. He's saying get it yourself or come get it from us. We have oil. We have oil. We have resources. We're going to be okay. It's just in the short term, we might have to, deal with the ramifications of the old system collapsing. And I said it before that it's interesting to me that the mainstream media is not talking loudly about the United States being insolvent. Oh, I see you, Chief Mac. Give me 1 minute. Let me see. Treasury declares, let me see if I can show you this. The Treasury declared that the United States is insolvent. So that actually happened in a report on September the 30th, 2025. They issued out a report, but it wasn't, it's funny because it wasn't widely discussed. And now when you try to fact check it, of course, Snopes and some other places said it's not true, but MSN reported it. A lot of us have known that, right, for a long time that the United States was insolvent. I see you, Chief. Give me 1 minute. So let me just briefly show you this. I'm not going to read it, just so you can see that this is true. The United States, the Treasury, why would the Treasury declare that the United States is insolvent in a bombshell report? The United States Treasury's latest financial statement showed the federal government is insolvent. That means they can't pay their bills, with liabilities nearly 8 times its assets and a widening fiscal gap. The report reveals almost $48 trillion in official liabilities, excluding $88 trillion in unfunded Social Security and Medicare obligations. Lawmakers are pushing for constitutional fiscal limits as foreign investors pull back and geopolitical threats target United States financial assets. So the Treasury Department declared this because, according to our republic, the only entity that can deal with money is the Treasury Department. This is proof that the republic is being restored. The Treasury Department declared the United States Incorporated insolvent. They cannot pay their debts. That's why Janet Yellen said under the Biden administration, we've reached the debt ceiling. We have to take extraordinary measures. We've got to do something about this. We got to make ourselves whole. The United States cannot pay their debts. They're insolvent. Now, typically what you would do if you can't pay your debts is you would just print money, right? You just print out money. But what I tell you, at the end of every empire, they rack up the debt, they spend as much as they can, print as much money as they can, and then they destroy that system at the end of every empire. But what else is happening is they can't. Who cares if you print up money? We're in a new digital age. Didn't Trump just say he wanted to make America? He said that last year, I think it was, the digital capital of the world. I don't even need to show you that. I'm just gonna get on. So typically they would just print as much money as they can. But guess what? It doesn't matter. Nobody's using money. Nobody, everybody, all the countries, right? All the countries have stopped trading with the dollar a long time ago. And we're in a new digital age. Thank you, Sister Janine. She said, now they know how we've been feeling not being able to pay our debts. Time's up. They could file bankruptcy. They sure could. And and who they gonna control? Because the Supreme Court of the United States declared in 2024 that the government was unlawful, unconstitutional, and treasonous when they overturned the Chevron doctrine. And that's why President Trump issued out a shutdown last year, and now we're under partial shutdown. They can't pay their debts. There are many ramifications. That's right, for all of this. All right, so that's my say about what's going on. I'm curious to see what Chief Matt has to say. Welcome, Chief. Welcome. It's good to see you, darling.
Hey there, Kia.
Hey, sweetheart.
How you doing? You're radiant today.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah. Listen, guys, what's going on? It's kind of simple. They have to return the gold that they stole from the indigenous people when they took it from the world trade. It was $270 trillion.
Mm,
They
mm,
don't have that to. They don't have that to loot,
okay.
and because the United States dollar was the world reserve currency, this is how they would have been able to tax people and charge people off of utilizing their dollar.
Mm,
Now, because that dollar is dead, and that's the beat system dollar. That type of dollar right there causes war,
mm,
causes people to go to prison, causes chaos throughout the whole world. That dollar,
yeah.
and when that dollar ends, that's when heaven on earth is about to be born. When that dollar ends. So I'm
Mm,
sorry to tell you people that people that believe that the world is coming to an end. The only world that's coming to the end to an end is the beast system. There will never be an end to this world that we live in, but the end of their world. And so
okay.
if you believe that, and to each his own, I'm gonna be nice. If you believe there's a rapture coming, if you believe you have a savior coming, it's all good. You can believe that. But why don't you if you believe that, make preparation. Why
Make
don't you
preparation.
start making preparation to give your foreign currencies over to people who are going to do righteous things in tribulations?
Mm,
So I'm gonna be down here doing tribulations, helping people, living my most amazing life, and you can just give your funds over to us righteous people while you wait on the rapture to come. But we, in my mind, there would never be a that would be a great reset, which we have been chosen to live in. So it's just a beautiful time, us seeing this stuff in real time. And anytime stuff like that happens, you're gonna get chaos, Kia.
mm,
Guys, you're gonna get
yeah.
chaos. You're gonna get a lot of chaos because when the old system goes down, a lot of things that was built by them are gonna be torn down. So this is why when I started realizing, I said, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that the United States, the reason it gives hundreds and millions of dollars to Israel is because they are an umbrella corporation made created by the same
Mm,
people?
wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So are you telling me that the Nazis and the Jews are the same people? Are you telling me that? The Nazis and the Jews are the same? because I'm
Speaking
telling
code, because they get sensitive when you talk about
okay.
that. Let me tell you how I know, Chief. I uploaded a video that talks about Hitler, hey, the H guy, how he was allegedly black, melanated. And it was just a short. I uploaded, I didn't even publish it yet. And I got a flag from YouTube. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I'm just
because you reach too many people, so of course if somebody else can flag, somebody else can post but not kill. You bet not. You waking up too many people. I dare you post that in forever to wake people up. So are you saying that the new Hitler is just an actor on the world stage, and that the swastika sign is not an evil sign, just like the what's it called that the flag, the so-called used for the race people, so-called racist people. That's an indigenous flag.
oh yeah, the what's that flag
The
called, y'all?
this is
That they say is racist.
and the Dukes of
It's
Hazzard was using that flag. In the old show, the Dukes of Hazzard came out in the late 70s and in but early 80s and late 70s. Dukes, they used the what's the name of that sign, guy? Put it in the chat. But anyway,
put
that's
it.
our flag. It's a Republican flag. That flag.
Mm-hmm.
So they take everything and they invert it and flip it upside down. But
Confederate. Was it Confederate? It
yeah,
was yeah, thank you,
yeah,
Confederate.
the
Yes.
Confederate flag is the indigenous and indigenous people flag, which is a Republican flag.
Mm,
It's
mm,
beautiful. So I'm sorry that some people, that all this truth is coming out, that it's crusting your bubbles, and you don't have that entitlement anymore. You know, I'm, s- we're in the age of the Great Awakening right now. It's just a beautiful time to be alive. I'll be glad when the prisoners are let out of prison, because
yes.
when you shut down that estate and what's happening now that the Treasury is involved, the only reason the Treasury is involved, the Treasury holds people's account. Now that these
Mm-hmm.
people, the corporation is being dissolved right now, they can't loot our estates anymore. And that's what it was all. Really, to be honest with you guys, everything is about them looting our estates. And that's
Mm-hmm.
been shut down right now. And now that it's been shut down, what are they doing? The Treasury is doing. Now you have Nassar Gassara coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
taxes have been getting ready to be eradicated. Now
Mm-hmm.
they're giving people and they're giving people. Here's the point: they're not going to give you so many millions, hundreds of millions of dollars out of your estate if you're not ready for it.
Okay.
So what are they going to do? They're going to give people pieces of their estate through Nassar Gassara. Where's that money coming from? It's coming from your own estate that belongs to you already. Now, if they see that you have made mental, spiritual, physical preparation and have written it down in a form of what you call a humanitarian project, that means that you are ready, you have planned to receive this money, and you're going to do righteous things with it. So all they're going to do is just release more funds out of your estate to
Mm-hmm.
you to go out there and do whatever you said you're going to do. You have it written down, documented, how much it's going to cost, what you think. If you have that written down, well, they're going to release funds. Where are these funds coming from in the so-called world that's bankrupt? It's coming
Mm-hmm.
from your own estate, just like the foreign currency. The foreign currency, when you take it to the banks are going to purchase it, and the banks are going to let the treasury know, and the treasury is going to release those funds out of your estate.
Mm.
Now, when they release these funds to you, you've been watched. Just know that. So this is why
Yeah.
I've been telling people to clean your heart. Now you got people out there who are wicked that have said some foolish things, and they're worried to death because they know that they got a lawsuit coming from it. Because you should be emotionally sound during this time right now. So you're not going to get this wealth and still got wicked and evil intent in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oil and water don't mix, and so do a fool and wealth. It doesn't mix.
Mm.
It doesn't mix. So that's why I'm saying clean your heart. You should be around here. You should act like you got the money before you even have it.
Okay.
You should be walking the part, acting the part. You should be happy. You should be just in a good spiritual move and not allow people to gaslight you. You should act that way now. So when you get it, that's nothing really going to change. You can't
Right.
be a fool right now and think you get the funds, you're not going to be a fool.
Right. Right.
Wealth, money is an amplifier of what you
Mm.
already are.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yes. It's an amplifier. So if you're a complete imbecile and fool without it, when you get it, guess what? You're gonna be even more of one, and guess what? You won't have
Mm,
it. You won't have it because when you get this wealth, they're gonna try to come after us to get more than half of it. This is
mm,
why it is imperative that we have a trust and knowing the basic of how to operate in trust. You got to know that. You think that you got some rookies and novice that come into wealth, and you think that somebody's not going to try to come after you. We are rookies at this. We're novice. A lot of us at being multi-millionaires, hundred
yeah.
millionaires, and
Yeah.
some of us billionaires.
Mm, mm,
The first thing you got to do is make sure that you secure your wealth. And the purpose of securing your wealth is not for you, but it's for your family who's going to be recycled back into this realm. That when they're
mm,
recycled back into this realm through trust,
mm,
they're they're protected and taken care of. Make sure they
mm.
ain't got to work no job. Make sure that they don't have to go to the things that you have gone through. You don't want
Right.
your family working no job because you don't want your family around a lot of different people.
Mm,
So this is what the trust is. So for those of you who don't know about reincarnation, it is so. Because it ain't since the beginning of time. It hasn't been. You think that every single person that's been born is a new soul? No,
no.
no. Since the beginning of time, all these so-called zillions of people, it got to be quadrillions of people been born. But it's
Mm,
not. It's just a same soul, a different avatar, but their soul is the same. It's just being reincarnated back on earth. And your memory has been taken from you. And through bits and pieces of what we call deja vu, we have a memory of our life. And those of us who are really tapped into source, we're
yes.
having dreams about the past life that we
Mm.
once lived. And
Wow.
some of us asked to come here, and to come here, your memory have to be zapped. You
Mm,
asked him, let me come here. I'll be the one to break those generational curses off our family.
mm, mhm,
And those of us who asked to come here, when we are born, there's a certain glow and a light that hovers over you.
mm,
And animals can see this light over you.
mm.
Birds, insects, babies stare at you like you're crazy. So there are people, when you run around, pet animals love you. Why? Then it's more evil people in this world than it is righteous people in this world. And then
See,
you go ahead.
there's a few people that said they want to know what to do because you said you want them to contact you. They're saying they're trying, but they're not able to get through. It's Cosmic Carrie said she's trying to reach you, Brother Joe. Just so what should they do? Miss
When did they email me?
Miss K loves vibes. So can y'all send him another email this evening so that he can?
Yeah, I'll check it tonight. You send me an email now. I'll check it tonight.
You're welcome,
I'll
sweetheart.
respond. I'll respond to it.
Chief, I wanted to ask you something. You're welcome, sweethearts. Um, the Treasury announced that the United States is insolvent. The United States can't pay their bills. What why do you think the mainstream media hasn't mentioned that? And what do you think that means for us? If the United States is insolvent,
Well,
it
I was saying I'm glad you asked that because the mainstream media is controlled by the people who created the United
mm,
States Corporation.
makes sense.
The mainstream media is there to rock people to sleep. The
Mm,
people who give the news are not even made in the same fashion that we're made in.
okay.
I see it so clearly. These people are inverted, man.
Mm, mm,
You guys are going to catch this one day. Kid, we got to do this. You got to. I'm gonna send you these clips, and I'm about
okay.
to blow you guys' mind at the way I see this gonna be one of your best videos. I'm about to blow your mind in terms of what type of world this is.
Okay.
You guys need to know that. So when you know these things, then you know what to take in. I was saying you need to learn control opposition, social engineering, psychological warfare, gematria, numerology, and the law of reversal.
Yes, sir.
If you embody those things, it'll be hard to deceive. You'll know that when you learn the law of reversal, you know that this is a world that been flipped upside down. The way we're living this life right now is the reason why we're not living to be 3, 4, 500 years old.
Mm,
We're supposed to be living way 60, 70, 80 years old, 100. That's nothing. We're supposed to be living
nothing.
way longer than that.
Yes, sir.
And so many people are used to it. We're not supposed to be sick. My mom transitioned not because my mom transitioned because of a, something that they stuck to with the people their age. All of them got the same type of uh. I'm trying not to say that word, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, the so-called cure for that sickness that shut down the world.
My dad's brother and my mom's brother transitioned in 2019. And what was it? Cancer, a certain type
Mm,
of cancer.
mm,
And the very next year, my mom was losing weight rapidly like that, losing
mm.
all that weight. And I would not think about it. My mom, two younger sisters, and then our older sister all transitioned from losing a lot of weight.
Mm. Hey, Chief, we can barely see you. Can you scoot up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Chief, somebody said, I'm sorry, excuse me. Courtney, I see you. You said, Chief, please finish your thought. That was very interesting. He was explaining something and I interrupted by saying people are want to know how they can reach you. Courtney,
I'll get back to it. But
okay.
the common denominator is there's shooting things in our bodies that's that's putting parasites inside of us.
Mm,
And that's what it all comes down to. It's all parasites. So we can find things to go in there and destroy these parasites.
mm.
These parasites get in your body, and they say my mom's blood, her blood was being eaten up in her body.
Oh my God. Oh
These
my.
these are parasites.
Mm, mm,
These are
mm,
parasites. And you see your parents, you go through all that pain like that. It's almost like a relief that they transition because when they hear you're
mm,
going through pain, seeing your family member and acting like that.
mm, mm,
So this is why we should all join together
mm.
in unity in prayer for this beast system to end because a lot of people are going through it. In other words, guys, I'm sorry to tell you that it's hell.
Mm,
And that Bible told you that this is hell. How is that? Because
mm.
if the fallen angels and Lucifer, it didn't say they got sent to hell. What did they say they got sent to? Earth.
Sure enough.
And we're down here with them. So where are we? Where are
Hell.
we?
We are hell too.
And the closest angel in the so-called angel in heaven was Lucifer. He was the
Mm.
bright and morning star. He was the most beautiful creation that the Creator made. And there was no other angel as close to him. So when he got kicked out of heaven and came to earth, he came down here as GAC.
Mm.
And they tell you that, and if you learn like Bubba Bay is really good with the gematria, you learn some secrets. It'll hurt your feelings. And you add up, why is JC and Lucifer add up both to the number 74?
I know what you're saying, and I do know some things about that, but I steer away from that because I don't want to offend the people that,
Well, I'm
believe
sorry,
differently.
but listen. Well, I get you. I get you. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's not
I
my words.
understand.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Don't It's just what it is. You need to
Yes,
learn
sir.
it. If people right now, if
Mm.
people don't want to hear the truth, I prayed and I cried out when I started coming to this knowledge around 9, 10 years ago. I asked the creator. I said, I
Mm.
cried. I was going through
Mm.
a spiritual awakening, and I cried and I asked the creator. I said, I do not want to be deceived.
Yeah.
I cried. I said, I started coming to things back then when I found out that the Romans were black, the Greeks were black. I started finding this stuff 10 years ago, way before all these kind. I started finding this stuff out.
Mm.
The black nobility, all of these things, and that's when I got out of the Hebrew
Mm.
Israelite religion
Oh, okay.
because I
Okay.
was a part of that. When I realized they were lying, said that we came here on slave ships, when I did my research, I realized we were already here, that America is the true East. Then I
Mm,
realized that they were saying that the so-called YT man was Esau, and I said, no, you're lying because you
mhm,
are Esau teaching the churches and lying to us.
mm, mm,
We were
mm.
never slaves that came on the slave ships. Out
That,
of the
that,
Slavics was where the word slave came from, and we know how the Slavics look.
mhm.
All the pictures we get on the slave ship is one that's written, drawn up. So I said, these guys are liars.
Yeah.
Liars.
Hey,
I just thought my mind just started opening up. So I'm only interested in the truth and nothing but the truth.
Speaking of the truth, can I show you something? Okay, I see you, Sister Courtney. She said you were about to say something about a trust and reincarnation. But before we get to that, Chief, I just wanted
Oh yeah.
to show you that I looked up what happens if the United States government goes into default. If the because they're insolvent. If they go into default, it will cause an unprecedented financial crisis, triggering a likely recession, global economic turmoil, and severe, long lasting consequences for household finances. A default would likely lead to an immediate stock market crash, soaring interest rates, and up to 8 million jobs lost. Also,
Wow.
suspended payments for Social Security, Medicare, and government employees. So I'm just going to say, if the government, we already know they're insolvent. I showed everybody the uh, the article that the Treasury, who handles money, said the government, the United States Incorporated, is default. I mean that they're insolvent. I mean they can't pay the bills. So this is going to affect that. It says it will cause unprecedented financial crisis, a global. Another article said global financial crisis. It will trigger recession. We are already in a recession. You will have a global economic turmoil, long lasting consequences for individual household finances. We're already going through that. It will lead to a stock market crash. So just pay attention, family. We're not making this up. Soaring interest rates, we're already there, and millions, up to 8 million in job losses, and no payments or suspended payments for those entitlement benefits. They say Social Security and Medicare and government employees, but there are also entitlement benefits like Section 8, temporary assistance to needy families, food stamps, all type of things. So you will have a financial chaos where markets will likely freeze and the United States dollar will fall in value, disrupting the global financial stability. You'll see credit downgrades where the United States credit rating will be downgraded, raising the cost of borrowing for both the government and consumers. So you're going to see the cost of mortgages and car loans go up. The interest rates will increase. You'll have a severe recession, more likely a depression, where the economy will suffer. Oh, it does say a major depression with the GDP dropping by hundreds of billions of dollars. This will lead to a severe, significant impact on households and services. You're going to have payment disruptions with federal and military personnel, recipients of Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits. Those all might not receive payments on time, if ever. Job losses, over 8 million. Inflation could potentially spike toward 11%. And you're going to have low term impact too, where the credibility of the United States government, which has never officially defaulted on this debt before, but the credibility in the government, if they default on these debts, their credibility will be destroyed. Higher debt costs and economic spiral where increased debt will cause a debt spiral where interest rates and low growth will slow the economy, making the debt even harder to pay down. So the implications of the United States Incorporated being insolvent, not being able to pay their debt, is that they will be going to default, and that will lead to a global financial crisis, a stock market collapse, $8 million, up to 8 million jobs, being lost, and suspended payments to people that receive government benefits. Chief, I just want to highlight that because we're talking about war, a possible shutdown. Tomorrow President Trump is going to hear birthright citizenship, oral argument. Not President Trump. The Supreme Court is going to hear oral arguments on birthright citizenship, and so that's the rhetoric in the mainstream. Oh, Trump is racist. He's against people that are legal Americans, and I'm like, my focus is on the global economy that's about to affect all these people's households. But what do you say about all this?
Bring it, bring it,
You say bring it.
bring it. Because what goes around comes around. If you think
Mm,
that if you think that you can constantly steal from people and lie on people to see people like that, if you think you're not going to get your own, a taste of your own medicine, it's going to come.
mm.
So everything is just switching. It's just people don't really realize how massive what's going on right now.
Yes,
The
they don't.
wicked witch is finally, being destroyed. It's got a
Oh,
lot to do with that movie, The Wizard of Oz. Is coming true, but it's happening. It's playing out in real life right now. So I welcome it. But I wanted to go in into if somebody say that a trust is the only way that you can protect your offspring. It's
okay.
the only way.
Mm.
When you write down on paper, and a lot of times you can put that trust on bond paper,
Oh,
and you write down with certain words you use, and
okay.
put that on bond paper, and then you get that notarized. Now it's law when you get it notarized
Mm.
and stamped. When you get that like that, then that trust has to be put on the record at a superior court, or a county recorder's office.
Mm.
Now it's there. They have a copy, and your offspring, we got to teach them. This is the
Okay.
trust. That this is what's going on. And so we have to teach them that. So when our family are born, see, a lot of times you got to know that's not a new soul. Now we see these babies right now acting like they've been here before.
Yeah, yeah, they are. They
You have a
are.
baby with their legs crossed, looking at the phone and the magazine. You got babies looking at, damn, you sent me to this family. You know, these these
Yeah.
these these new babies, they're something else. People. So I'm sorry to tell you, you guys are gonna find out the old world is ending, and it's up to us.
Yeah.
We're going to create the new world, and we're going to do that in trust.
Yes.
We got people right now in the past 4 years that's been a boom in people getting trust.
Mm.
You see how that happened? In the past 4 years, that's been a boom, and people who didn't know anything about trust, didn't
Mm.
know nothing about it. It's been a boom, and it's 1% of us that's
Mm.
doing this. For instance, me, I have 6 sisters and 7 brothers,
Mm.
and none of them had a trust. I was the first one to get one.
Wow.
That should tell you. And I haven't heard anybody in my family, on my dad's side and my mom's side, as the so-called melanated people, I haven't heard anybody talk about trust ever.
Mm.
Isn't that something?
It is.
Now, those of us, we are the new 1%ers, and even 1%ers, we're talking about trust. We're learning about trust. So I've really been studying this thing. The past 3 years of my life has been the most growth in my life
Mm.
in ever. I'm a new man. I've been resurrected. I've been born again. I came out of waters and been docked and walked on land.
Yeah.
I know who I am. I know that God is within me. And I know that I got rid of all the hate, envy, malice, and jealousy out of my heart. And when I feel it creeping in me, I get rid of it right away.
Mm.
I'm not jealous or envious at no man.
Mm.
And when I see it trying to creep at me, I get rid of it right away. And that's what we should be doing. You
Mm.
shouldn't be envious or jealous of anybody when you have the ability to have all that you want in the time such as we are right now today. You can have it all, whatever you want. If your heart is right, that means it has to be light as a feather. I'm not envious and jealous. I have any malice or hate in my heart toward anybody. And so if you realize that you have it in your heart, you got some more soul searching to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm.
trust, we have to do that because you want to make sure that people are being recycled back into this earth. They lied to you in religion. People are being recycled. All you're doing is being recycled. They made a movie about it. I'm gonna post it again on my page, showing
Hmm.
you that they have movies about this.
Okay.
Could you imagine that? Have you ever thought about it? When certain people have the audacity to end their own life.
Hmm.
What if
Yeah.
they found out they was in hell?
Hmm.
They blow their own brains out there, escape it, not realize they're gonna be reincarnated right back into it.
Hmm.
So it's a perpetual cycle. There's no heaven or hell that you're going to. Earth has to be that. The choice is yours. What you make it,
Hmm.
guys.
Hmm.
And just be honest and upfront with people and talk to people. You don't have to be slick. You don't have to lie on people because all of that is going to come right back on you. You do not
Right.
get away with nothing. I just keep it simple, man.
Hmm.
I found this
Hmm.
stuff. I found this out. So I'm not a religious man at all, period. I'm not waiting on nobody to come save me or raps me from nowhere. I'm saving my damn self.
I know that's right.
I do
Yes.
not to go down there and roll my sleeves up and take the Tuskegee 2.0. So
Mm.
I saved myself. And in fact, the churches were the ones who were saying, come and take it. Because the churches, these mega churches, were created just for that reason. I read an
Mm.
article about 15, 16, 17 years ago. They said why they was going to use these mega churches.
Really?
Yeah, I was about 17, 18 years ago. I read an article saying that the reason why, because I was a member of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I've seen some stuff in that church, man, that you can, because I watch people. I'm a people. I sit back and I just watch people.
Mm.
And I've seen some stuff. And isn't it ironic that Eddie Long was a Kappa,
Mm.
and they put he's so-called transition. That's a whole nother story.
Okay.
But who did they put? They put Pastor Jamal in that church, and guess what? He's a Kappa.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
so when they had Eddie Long's so-called funeral, it was all Kappa brothers dressed in red. They were in red. Okay,
Mm.
so these are the
Okay.
people who got these huge ministries. They're
Yes.
part of these secret organizations. Why is that? And these are the people who are teaching you.
Mm.
Why is you got a bishop and a pastor so-called hanging out with secular artists like P. Diddy?
See?
You got your Bishop Jakes hanging out with P. Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
And people are so busy selling, worshiping these people pushed to the world stage like they're celebrities and their consequences that come with that. And so I'm going to do a video with you, Care. I'm going to send you
Okay.
some links and we're going to open them up to people. Be prepared to have your mouth wide open and drop. I'm going
All
to
right.
bring it. We're gonna cook that day again. We're gonna cook.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you some stuff. Your mouth gonna drop to see this world in the way that I see it. They have hidden it from a lot of people. The world that I see, they have hidden from a lot of people.
Mm.
And I see this world as such. And when you see that world as such, people look at you like you're crazy. But when you see this, you need to see it that way. That way you're not to conduct yourself. So like I said, another thing, get a trust, guys. Everybody needs to trust. You can have a trust kid. You had that trust for your grandchild before your child was born. They wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
been able to do what they tried to do to you guys.
I learned that the
You
hard
realize
way.
that?
Yes.
Give that
Yes.
child a name, and then have that name and that trust, and have it stamped and certified at the Superior Court, and you have that. When they would have tried that, you would have showed that to them
Mm.
and say, "I'm
Mm.
gonna sue you.
Mm.
You're gonna play with me if you want to. I operate in trust, and this child is trust property,
Mm.
not
I
mine. Touch not my anointed. Do my prophets
trust.
no harm." And you can do that in trust. That's why everybody needs to have a trust. Whether you get it from me or you give someone else, you really don't want to get one from the banks. But your trust account that you put, the trust that's connected to your bank account, you don't want to put that on the record. Keep it private.
Okay.
That one right there, you don't. And this trust that we're doing, the trust I've done for many people, is for the wealth transfer, to move those credits into it. But this is just going to be the first trust of many different trusts you're going to have because nothing should be in your name. If you once we have the liquidity we need to buy things and purchase things, you need a trust. That need to be in trust. Nothing going to in your name because your name is dead. It's a
Yeah, somebody,
corporation.
excuse me, Chief, somebody was asking, and I know the answer to this, but I wanted to hear you say it. They were asking, well, should they be putting their house, their cars, and things they have right now in trust?
If it's paid off,
Okay.
if it's paid off, it's not. You can't go around putting a house and car in the trust when you have signed a debt pledge to pay it off, that you or a mortgage or
Mm,
your car payment. When you get some liquidity, pay it off and then put it in trust.
okay.
But you can't go around and the more, even though they tricked you and deceived you, you signed it that you're going to pay that mortgage. So you can't take a house that's your mortgage on and try to put it in the trust, guys. Can't do that.
Mm. One
That's like
funny,
fraud. It's not your house. It's not your
I,
house.
I see.
And even when you pay it off, you pay it off. You gotta take that house and you gotta put it in a trust. It become a part of your ministry, foundation and ministry. Which you do have. You do foundation work and ministry work in your house.
Right.
You do foundation and ministry work in your vehicle when you travel.
Mm.
This is the reason why you don't see the police bothering rich and wealthy people because they move with the fashion that I'm talking about.
Ah,
And many of you guys, once you get this liquidity, you're gonna need to move yourself out of the public to the private. Now I know I hear people saying they don't push paperwork and this and that. I'd rather get these things done now when that time comes, then I'll worry about that later. But I can
right.
guarantee if anybody's saying, well, I'm not gonna push paperwork until each his own, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Mm.
And I've done all there is to do. I've done it. The UCC ones, the non-UCC, authentication of the birth certificate, the state and federal, to become full faith and credit. The blackout paperwork, come out of minor to the age of majority. You name it. Diplomatic passport. I've done it, and I've done it for other people.
Wow.
So I'm not a man just up here just talking right in my mouth, saying things. Uh, One you status correction. I've moved myself out of label Black African American to Indigenous and conscious man of this holy land that I stand on, my
Mm.
ancestors sprouted up from. And I know who I am, and I move in honor. Most times I get pulled over by the police. They take my license, they come back, they give me a foot pump, and I say, "Shake my hand. Have a good day, sir."
I love it.
I operate in trust.
Hmm.
I got pulled over by the police there last night. My tail lights wasn't on. I said, how you doing, officer? He said, let me see your license, sir. I said, oh, I didn't know that. I apologize about that. Gave my license. He came back quick. Sir, have a good day, sir. I said, what's your name, sir?
Wow.
Officer so and so, so and so. I said, you're doing a swell job, but I operate in honor. But
Wow.
they get my license, they see something. They see
Mm.
something on their end. They come back,
Mm.
you know. And this is how we want to operate, guys. The sheriffs will be taken over. The police are going to be defunded. So because police is ran by a corporation. They're working for a corporation. That's treasonous to the people.
That's right.
There's a lot of them are starting to find this out. And the court system is treasonous to the American people.
Sure
All
enough.
people, they're
They got to
robbing them
cease and
from your
desist.
estate.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
It's
Chief,
okay.
on tomorrow, April the 1st, um, the Supreme Court is going to hear oral arguments as it relates to birthright citizenship. And there's a lot of chatter online about it. People are all upset and they're calling President Trump racist because he questioned birthright citizenship. But I want to show you what he said. He put this on his Truth Social yesterday, March 30th. He said birthright citizenship is not about rich people from China and the rest of the world who want their children in hundreds of thousands more for pay to ridiculously become citizens of the United States of America. It is about the babies of slaves. We are the only country in the world that dignifies this subject with even a discussion. Look at the dates of this long ago legislation, the exact end of the Civil War. The world is getting rich, selling citizenship to our country, while at the same time laughing at how stupid our U.S. court system has become. Tarifish. Dumb judges and justices will not a great country make. So he's making the argument, and I've read the 14th Amendment that people keep trying to use to say that they're legal citizens. But for what he's saying, but the 14th Amendment was supposed to be for the babies of slaves. After the Civil War, the United States government said babies of African American slaves could become citizens. But people have come to our country, they might be illegal. Most of them that have done this have babies here and try to claim automatically citizenship because the child was legally born here. What do you think about this? Do you want to even talk about this? They're supposed to hear about oral arguments on it tomorrow.
Say that again,
Oh,
Ken.
I'm sorry, Chief. Are you there? Okay, no, I was just saying this was supposed to be for children of African Americans after the Civil War, that their children could be birthright citizens, but people from all over the world have been coming here to America. They're illegal, some of them, but they could just come legally, but they come to America, have a baby here. Like somebody mentioned that a Nigerian couple they knew of flew here to America just so they could have the baby, so the baby could be American born. What do you think about people having babies?
It's not going to be that easy. They cut all that.
Well,
It's not going to be that easy anymore. They're
mm,
cutting it out. And see, the whole purpose is trying to tap into our inheritance. They're stopping that stuff. That's the whole purpose.
that
So that
makes
people
sense.
come
So they
here.
want to be called American. So they can have our tap into our trust.
Yes, yes.
That's
That's the whole
crazy.
purpose.
That's
Because we're not
crazy.
claiming it. We don't want to claim it. We're African American. They don't claim that right there. It's like you don't exist. Everybody coming here claiming our birthrights. And they're trying to have their children born into it to secure the
Mm,
bag for their family.
mm, mm.
It's what they've been doing. Now it's just Trump is just that person put into place that have to turn it back over. Who's really behind? I'll be honest, Trump don't have the real power. It's the people behind the scene that has the power.
Mhm, mhm,
It'll be the black nobility.
mm,
How did any other nation of people that came to America were allowed to be here by the hidden hand?
mhm,
That hidden hand is at war with us,
mhm.
hoping we wouldn't find out who we are. So that hidden hand had to put up a middleman
I
to
see.
hide them.
Hmm.
So when you ask yourself, who really created who's really behind the United States corporation?
Good
Who's really
question.
behind it? Ask yourself that. If the nobility runs it all, who's really behind that corporation?
Hmm.
Huh? Who were the people that brought these other people here on ships? The MOORS, right? They brought these people here, right?
Mhm,
And we
yeah.
know what these people were. So who's really behind the United States corporation? We know that the KKK wasn't created by so-called white people, and white people don't have anything to do with the color. I'm white based on status.
Yep. Yep.
Let's get that straight. I
That's
ain't
that.
black. My skin look like peach cobbler. No, no, no. My hair is black, so I'm not black because it's a status. I'm white. How about that?
Hmm. Yes,
Based on
absolutely.
status, it don't have anything to do with the color.
Hmm.
Period. So we are finding out the truth. This is why we say glory, hallelujah, because the information we're getting is out of sight. We're making changes. We're operating in trust. We're securing the bag for our ancestors who have to be reincarnated back into this earth through trust. The trust is going to protect your grandchildren, and your grandchildren are going to learn trust, and you'll get another trust started so that you can keep on protecting your offspring as they are recycled back into this earth.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's what happened. They made movies about this. In the movie Jumanji, they showed The Rock,
Hmm.
Kevin Hart when they died. They got recycled sent right back down here.
Hmm.
They were trying to tell people that, but it was people are so used to being entertained. Then they made another movie showing you that people come here as different people.
Right.
Now, this system, they have found a way to live a long time, and they have been doing that through the med beds.
Mm.
This is how Martin Luther King became young and became Meek Mills. This is why
Okay.
Muhammad Ali was able to become young again and become Kevin Gates. Huh?
Hmm.
And with that med bed out here, you can do it up to 3 times
Okay.
and
Oh,
become young all over again, to grow limbs all over again. So you guys, let's get ready, get your popcorn and slushy, because man, the true world is about to present itself, and some people won't be able to handle that.
I agree.
My brothers and sisters don't know anything about a med bed,
Hmm.
nothing.
Okay.
So we know some things, guys. You know, so
We do. And I also think it's, I want to get back to the birthright citizenship because a lot of people are angry about that. They're online talking about it, but what's legal is not lawful. Even if they were classified as legal, it doesn't matter because the United States, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter, but the United States incorporated. So whatever is legal is associated with that. They're being done
they're
away with.
they're not lawful. They're not lawful.
That's right. The United States is not lawful.
They're not
so,
lawful
so
at all. So you got a corporation creating laws on the books and making immorality legal, but it's not lawful.
hmm
Lawful is in the state of the Most High, the Great Spirit. You know, they make these laws up, put them on the book so they can cause chaos in people's life. They created these prison systems
mm
in the United States. We have more prisons here than anywhere else in the world
mm
to warehouse the indigenous people to make room for other
mm.
people to come over here.
Wow.
They bringing all these people over. How if we wasn't in the prison system, it wouldn't be no room for the other nation people to come over here.
I see.
So we make up 80 to 90% of people in these prison systems, and that 80 to 90% of us in the prison system makes room for all the other nations to come over here and live their most amazing life. While they got us in prison, full of from our states, they give that money to the people to come over here to live their most amazing life, and they act like they're proud of us, better than
Mm-hmm.
us, and that's going to stop.
It's gonna stop. Yeah. Thank you, Chief. I really appreciate you. I
Thank you.
know it's late. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the encouragement, Chief, and all you've done for the Soul family, all the trust, which by the way, if you all want to trust, please contact Chief Mac at Unity in Motion 45 at yahoo.com. I'll put it in the chat again. Unity in Motion at 45. Unity in Motion 45 at yahoo.com.
I'm so proud because I got people every day saying like they got the trust done, they got the foreign EIN number, they're ready to go to the banks. They have got their trust open up. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that's a milestone.
Mm,
That's a milestone to have that done. Because now, when they hit that button, let me tell you, it's sooner than later. Just a lot
yeah.
of chaos getting ready to happen because they're ready to hit that switch. And if the chaos come, we should start rejoicing through the chaos.
Mm, mm.
Because we're gonna come out like gold and silver on the other side. We're gonna be living our
Chief,
most amazing life. And that most amazing life is being able to start charity starts at home first. Start with your
yes, it
family
is.
and
Chief,
work its way
somebody
on
said,
out.
sorry, sir, Chief. Speaking of chaos, Carlos said, hey, I'm a truck driver. What will happen to us? I deliver food all around the country. I guess it means during this, if we have a lockdown. I don't know, Carlos, are you talking about during a lockdown? He just wants to know what's going to happen to the truck drivers because they're going to be the ones. They're supposed to be delivering the food, but if everything's locked down, how are they going to get food to the people?
Yeah. Carlos, if you listen to the Dr. Tia Pruitt show, that I trust that you have some foreign currency or some type of commodity, gold, silver. So if anything happens to you, it's going to be short notice. You're going to be okay.
Mm,
I trust if you're listening to the Soul Tribe, that you have made some investments in whether it's XRP, Bitcoin, gold, silver, foreign currency, or an investment out there. You can make some investment out there. You know, Iraq just partnered up with BP oil. You guys can, if you hear me,
Mm.
you can. My stock with BP oil is like boom. The price it went up. I'm like, whoa, man, this is crazy.
That's
You can move
awesome.
in right on cash. Have to go to BP oil if they're still allowed. Take two, three, $400, $500, and they can turn it around. They can turn it to millions because it's shares.
Mm.
I did that almost a year ago, and right now that thing is shooting up because the price of gas is going up, causing everything. It's just hyperinflation. That's all it is.
I see. I see.
Yeah, so
Well, Chief,
you're
it's
gonna be okay.
almost.
Gonna be
Go ahead.
okay, Carlos.
We're gonna be okay, Carlos. I'm gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you, Chief. First of all, thank you so much because you sent me a Cash App blessing. I was very grateful. You always take good
Welcome
care
back
of
there.
me. I'm so grateful for how you take care of me, Chief. And then finally, I want to ask you, what are your final words to the Soul Tribe? With given all we gave all this information about what's going on, what words can you give them to encourage them, Chief?
Hey, let's just continue to tap into one another, to build, live, motivate, inspire, encourage each other. You know, protect each other, be our brothers and sisters keeper. We're
Mm,
family. Well, that's
mm,
the way we have to see it. We're family.
yeah,
If you see yourself in the amount of envy, jealous, malice, and hate that come into your heart, get rid of it immediately.
mm,
Immediately. You shouldn't have it.
mm,
And get ready to break these generations. The goal is to break the generational curses off your bloodline. That's the goal. So we are going to be that savior and salvation to humanity
mm.
through our
Yes.
wealth. It's an overflow there, and that overflow is be able to help out those that need it.
Mm.
No mom walks again. Foundation is mine. No mom walks again. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do that. We having prison reforms. Uh, reforms of taking brothers and sisters out of the prison system and giving them, teaching them a trade, so they won't have to go back.
Yes.
No mom walks. Taking veterans and homeless and get them off the streets and teaching them. And we're gonna take the crime rate down. There will be no uh, health, true health facilities with the med beds, with the stem cell patches, with stem cell, with the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, with the NAD shot. We talk about having these facilities where people can live longer and have quality of life. Being able to grow, buying over 100 acres of land, and being able to grow fresh produce to feed people. This is where we are. So this is what's
Okay.
coming, brothers and sisters. So let's be rejoiceful. Yeah, a little chaos is going to come, but
Yeah.
the sun is coming out on the other side, guys. Be encouraged.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. That was beautiful. Yeah, and somebody mentioned we need community. We have each other. We have to take care of each other, help each
Yeah,
other through the dark period. We may go through a dark period, but it should be brief.
well,
Well, Chief, thank you so much. If family, if you want to get in touch with Chief, please send him an email to somebody said, what's his email? Yeah, I was just getting ready to go there. It is unity in motion 45 at yahoo.com. UNITYINMOTION 45 at yahoo.com. Brother Tony says, thank you, Chief.
thank you, brother.
On tomorrow, we will have a gentleman by the name of Orisha Stone. He's going to come on and talk about healing through precious metals and precious stones. I don't have my necklace right here with me, but I showed you all the Soul Tribe, what he made for me. So he'll be here tomorrow, which is April the 1st. That's New Year. It's also Passover. It's also 41, 401, April 1st. What is it? New life, resurrection season. But he's going to talk about healing, and he's going to bring some pieces on tomorrow. It'll be 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to show you some of his work. He made me, I don't know if you saw it, Chief, but he made me a gold. Oh,
Hey,
he wants,
that was a beautiful piece. I got to find out. I
huh?
want to ask you about that. Do he make it for men? That piece that you have is beautiful. Does he make
Yes,
that for men?
yes, absolutely.
We need to talk.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
I for years I wear gold on me and silver on my body.
Okay.
Those are two gold pieces. That's
Mm,
gold. I wear them
mm.
on my body,
Yeah,
and I
because
have colloidal.
they go ahead.
I wear colloidal silver. I got colloidal copper, colloidal silver, colloidal gold. I've been taking
Mm.
that for years. It's good for your skin. It just really does some amazing things for you. And I wear gold on my body, actual gold. This is gold on my body. Put it in my socks.
Come on, Chief.
And then there's
I'll show.
silver on the other side, gold on the
Mm.
other side, inside my socks. Yep. I want you to know
Yeah,
that.
because it's healing. It heals you. It raises your vibrations. It helps you to see more clearly.
It's
Here it
stop.
is.
It'll stop you from aging.
It stops you from aging. So here it is, family. If you let me see if I can show you.
That's a beautiful piece.
That's called citrine. The stone is citrine and turquoise and some other stones too. So
Beautiful.
he's gonna talk about the different stones and how they can heal certain ailments in your body and tell us what they do, what the properties are. Yep, that's on tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when you coming on, Chief, so people can know, are you going on live tomorrow?
I don't know. I'll keep it. I like to know when you're going live because I don't want to be going live at the same time you're going. Later, you went live about 8 or 9 o'clock. A few
Okay.
times, I think we went live at the same time one time, and I don't want to be going live
Oh,
with you.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. Yeah,
just
normally I
just let me
don't go
know.
live. I've just been getting information at night. So what I'll do is if I get something at night and I want to say something, I'll collaborate with you. See what
Yeah, just let me know.
you
I
usually
want to
want.
be I want to be here to support you when you're going live and not like we compete with each other. I have to be supporting you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yeah,
Likewise,
yeah,
Chief. I want to be there to support you
yeah.
as well. Thank you. All right, Chief. Thank you so much. You've been
Okay, guys.
amazing. Any final words? I know we said that already.
We're
Tomorrow.
good. I say glory, hallelujah. Our redemption is here, guys. We're gonna wake up one day and a miracle will happen. We're gonna live our most amazing life. You gotta speak it, know it, and believe it.
Amen. All right,
Amen.
Chief. Thank you so much. I
Okay,
love you,
guys.
Soul Tribe. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace.
I'm going to end this. Are you staying here? Okay. Thank you so much, Soul Tribe. We're getting ready to end it, but people usually like to hear the music on the way out, so I'll be in the background answering your questions if you have any. Peace.
Dr. Kia shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Good night, Soul Tribe. Rest well and make sure you have a safe travel in your dreams. I love you all so much. And for those who ask where you can get gold backs, you can get gold backs from goldback.com, or you can go to AppMex, Great American Coin Company, SD Bullion, JM Bullion, and other online dealers. You can even get gold backs from eBay, interestingly enough. But if you want to get precious metals, coins, rounds, kilos, bars, you can either go to your own personal dealer in your neighborhood, go to your local dealer, or you can go to my affiliate, use my affiliate, Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. And you can give them a call at 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you so you can get the best prices in the industry. If you'll notice, silver and gold should be going up now. They've been suppressing the prices for a very long time, but they can't hold them down too much longer. That's Miles Franklin Precious Metals been in business for nearly 4 decades with an A+ business rating and no customer complaints. So billions of dollars in sales worth precious metals. I've spoken with Andy Scheckman many times. He's been on my show. A wonderful man. They have a family business, and he's all over right now doing podcasts, just encouraging people to do what they can, not trying to force people. But if you are interested and it's in your budget, give them a call for some silver and gold. 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. I love you, family. Have a wonderful evening. Good night. Yes, and Happy New Year. It is New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year. What's the best Cash App to use? If you're sending me a gift, my Cash App, who asked that question? My Cash App is $Mama Kia 13. $MAMAKIA 13. So it is New Year. It is the new year in many, many different societies, family. It is spring season. That's what spring, resurrection, Passover, all that's about. Really, it's about planetary alignments. We'll let somebody else talk about that. And it's about all the new life, all the season of new life, the season of joy, the season of happiness, the season of reaping, right? You sow some seeds and then you reap. And this is a time for a harvest. So be excited. It is time for you all to have your wealth return. I love you. Good night, family. See you tomorrow.